I came in as a 15-year-old who's already doing $3,000 a weekend selling baseball cards. And I walked in and after the first day on the job, driving home, we lived 45 minutes from the liquor store. I spent the entire 45 minutes telling my dad he was doing everything wrong. Unfortunately, my dad's a Soviet father and he didn't take too well to that. But
you can never tell those immigrant dads.
Well, you know what? I respect it. He came to this country with nothing and he built something real and I respect the shit out of it. But how many people here are in family businesses? Right, so I'll say there's some good amount and I know there's more to watch the recording. For the youngsters, the number twos, the second gen, too many, because of my story and over the last year getting some popularity, I get a lot of those emails and kids are always like, my mom's not putting me on, my dad's not letting me do my thing. And I'm like, you're entitled. You're 22, you're walking into a business that's been alive for 15 years. Your mom and dad have all these other employees that put the bricks down to fucking make this place. And just because you won the fucking sperm game, you think you earned something? Shut the fuck up and work for a decade.
Love it.
Fucking crazy. My dad doesn't listen. My dad didn't listen to a single thing I was thinking. I did shit. And when he was like, that wine isn't selling, and I sold all 19 cases on that Saturday as a 15-year-old who looked 8, who definitely shouldn't be selling wine. Miraculously, my dad started to listen. The number one thing I ask kids is like, when they're like, my dad won't listen. I'm like, well, what have you done? Well, he won't let me do anything. I'm like, you are copping the fuck out. You could do a million things. Businesses are too complicated. There's too much going on. People are just entitled, period. That's the only thing I have to say.
Man, I couldn't agree more. It was the same thing. I resonate with the story. My dad came over here with nothing, didn't even know the language.
Same.
Had to figure it out in college.
Same.
Didn't know how to read a textbook.
I get it. My dad's first words were Budweiser and Carlo Rossi. Really. And then it's tough, right? Because then I came into the business and I really transformed it. And honestly, it caused a lot of friction because I became the man. My dad was young. At the time I was 22, my dad was 44 when I took over full operations. When you're 22, you think 44 is old. I'm 46 now, I feel like a child. So my dad, to have the humility to give me free reign, I know I was ringing the register, but family businesses are challenging. I have a lot of empathy for all the people in here, I would just say, if I can give one piece of advice, then I started a business with my brother, Vayner. The one thing I would say is somebody who's navigated 2 successful businesses with family, if you're in it, I promise you don't want to be a family that broke up because of money. Money's poison. Fight for the love every day. The money will be there. If you're so fucking great, you'll get your money, right? I was 34 when I left my dad's business. I made no money in those 12 years. I worked 7 days a week, 15 hours a day. I built the business. I left with nothing. And in 12 short years, I've accomplished plenty. If you're so fucking great, you'll get yours. The thing that connects this story to make it relevant for everyone is perspective. If you really ask me to synthesize what I'm trying to accomplish here in one word, it's perspective. Can I get you to see that LinkedIn content can actually triple your business? Can I get you to see that your employees or your family, not a disposable asset that you can replace? Can I get you to see?
Incredible. So we're family business, you took it over. Now, you already talked a little bit about you just got to delegate. You got to delegate. So did you come in day one, you're now absorbing the business?
Well, don't forget, I was 14 when I was working every weekend and every summer vacation. So by the time I was 22, I was like OG. And don't forget, before I was 14, from 6 to 14, I was getting straight D's and F's, but fucking dominating in lemonade and baseball cards. And so I struggle with using me because I've come to realize, back to making the Lucky Sperm Club, I'm a natural business talent. It was the luck of the draw. Mom and dad had sex at the right second in Russia and I popped out. So for me, it was the hours and the talent that put me in this crazy position. But as far as delegating, yes, from day one, I understood if I was gonna build an empire, back to everyone here who just raised their hands, if you're gonna build something big, it's not you doing everything, it's you hiring people to do things, and you're in charge of the following framework. Hire fast. Too many people spend too much time hiring because they think there's a perfect candidate. Hire fast. If they prove to you in the first 3, 6, or 12 months they stink, fire faster. If they prove to you in the first 3, 6, or 12 months they got it, promote fastest. That last part, thank you, that last part, and listen, I grew up in a small business. I used to fight my dad to give a kid that had it a 50-cent raise as if we were fighting the Ukraine-Russia war. 50 cents an hour. He was, that's that old school thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm telling you, hire faster than you've been hiring. You don't know anyway. I think my greatest superpower is emotional intelligence and intuition, and I've hired so many losers. I can name 40,000. I mean, it's unbelievable how many times I've been wrong. More than anything I do in my life. More than anything I do in my life, I've been wrong in hiring. It's just a hard game. But the reason I've built massive companies is because I have fired faster in my older age because I really struggled with it in my youth. And now I'm promoting fastest for the last decade, and it's been game changing. Winners like to be seen. And you trying to hold it off because you don't want them to think they're too big of a winner, and you don't want it, like small businesses, listen, I get it, every dollar counts. So you're like, I can wait a year before I promote, and the money. If you got a winner, lock it in.
And when you have that good team, man, they will pay you back in spades.
And especially, I'll tell you another thing, because I worry about retention based on a lot of things I'm talking about, giving that raise and accolades to somebody 100 days in, it buys you an extra year together, even if they're not destined to be with you forever, because they really subconsciously appreciate it. And that
awesome.
extra year is gonna matter to your business. You
I
compound
found
that by 4 or 5 people, and you got money.
I found when I finally got out of my way and stopped doing it, that's when we grew the fastest. I had to keep working myself out of a job.
Let me give you a really good one for everyone. And this is gonna really land with this audience. Let me teach you the power of good intent and I'm sorry. The reason so many people micromanage and don't delegate is they're concerned that it's gonna get messed up and they don't wanna deal with the client's issues. The power of good intent, you didn't intend for it to go poorly. You've put the best people in place that you can to the best of your ability. The power of I'm sorry and I'm gonna take care of it. The power of accountability when something goes wrong is actually what you wanna be doing, not trying to fix it before it happened.
What are you spending your time on? So obviously, people.
So I got here. I'm sitting on this stage right this second because people are the only asset in business. So all my juggernaut, billionaire, fancy friends always get mad at me when I start talking about feelings in business. Empathy, compassion, and again, you heard it from me in this talk. I'm also not 8th place trophy guy. I'm just kind of, using the political structure of America in a world where everyone's falling in love with being all red or all blue. I'm purple as fuck. And so I believe in kindness. I believe that nice guys finish first. I believe in patience. I believe in empathy. I believe in good people skills. It matters. But I also believe in tenacity and work ethic. Like my friends that are too far to the left, you're not gonna build a big business working 9 hours a week.